Hey, how's it going, everybody? I wanted to make a video for you guys explaining to you exactly why I failed when I first started dropshipping. The first thing that I tried with dropshipping was Shopify dropshipping. In this video, I'm going to explain to you why I failed. I'm also going to reveal the winner of my contest that I had last week. I asked you all to leave a comment in my last video telling me what your goals were. Your financial goals for this year. I know it's a little late to start talking about goals, but it's really never too late. So I asked you guys, had some great entries. I had to pick one, so I did pick one at random. So I'll be announcing that winner in the video as well. So many of you guys know, I do drop shipping on eBay, and I'm doing really well with it, but I wasn't always as successful. A couple of years ago, when I first wanted to get into drop shipping, I started doing drop shipping on a platform called Shopify, and I had really high hopes for it. I saw a lot of people doing really well with it. I bought an expensive course. It was over $1,000 a course, all about how to drop ship on the Shopify, and I really wanted to do well, but I want to explain to you why I didn't, why I never ended up making a single dollar. So thanks everyone who's showing up. Let's see who we have here right now. So a couple of people pop in already. We have Josh is here, Jay Goldie, and Best Zaki. RJB's in the house. Welcome, guys. Thanks for checking out the video. So as I was saying, we have Rodrigo here from Houston, Texas. So as I was saying, the course was $1,000, so it was not cheap. And it's hard to justify spending that much money on a course, right? But I figured, if I'm putting this much money into it, then I'm going to work at it. I'm going to give it all I got because I put so much money into it, right? And it's got to be a really great course for that price. And it was a really well put together course that I took. But my problem with it was that at some point, I had my whole store set up. I found all suppliers. I had my whole niche picked out. I felt like a solid niche, although I was never fully happy with it. People said you just got to keep going with it. Don't get too hung up on the niche selection. But then I got to advertising. And when it came time to advertise my store, I felt completely lost. Either it was because I was so new at advertising, or what I was learning in the course material was just not enough to get me through. It taught us how to advertise using Google AdWords. It was just way beyond what I was capable of at that time. And so I got $100 credit from Google AdWords, so it was $100 in free advertising. And then I spent about another $100 on it, and then I got scared. I was like, I'm spending money and not making any money. So I quit. I pulled the plug and I said, there's no way this works. And I was in like a mini mastermind with this other guy out in California. And we started around the same time, and we both got stuck at the same spot. And I remember the exact conversation. When we first started out, we're like, yeah, we're going to do this. Like, nothing's going to stop us. And then we both struggled with advertising, and we said, you know what? This doesn't work. There's other people doing it well, but it doesn't work. And that was very defeating. And looking back on it, that was such a scarcity mindset. That was me making excuses for why it doesn't work. And yeah, the advertising part was really hard. It was something I was really unfamiliar with. And I was spending money and not getting anything out of it yet, but I didn't fully understand that I was just making excuses for myself to not do it, to not execute, and to back out. And I ultimately, that's why I think I failed. Yeah, it would have helped to learn more about advertising and to have better guidance on that. But ultimately, I could have executed. I could have learned more, but I didn't. I looked for an excuse and I found one and I backed out. And it didn't sit well with me. I didn't know at the time that I had made an excuse, but it just didn't sit well with me that I failed, and it ate away at me. And that's when I started eBay dropshipping. And I ultimately picked this one specifically because there's no advertising needed, right? We're dropshipping onto a platform, eBay, and eBay's handling all the advertising. People come to eBay to shop. You don't have to do that advertising yourself. That's what's so powerful about it. That's why eBay charges the fees they do. And eBay fees might seem high, but that's money that you would have had to pay if you had your own shop in order to advertise, and eBay is doing it for you. So that's what I love about this platform. And the other thing I did, so now that excuse was gone. There's no more excuse that advertising doesn't work. So I started up eBay Dropshipping. I started to see some progress. And the other great thing about eBay Dropshipping is that, unlike a Shopify store, in order to do well on Shopify, everyone says you have to sell high-end items that are expensive, because that's what makes it worth it. With eBay, that's not true. In eBay, especially in the beginning, what you want to do is sell cheap items or items with very little margins just to get the ball rolling, just to be able to get sales. And the reason for that is because that helps eBay's algorithm. If eBay sees that you're making sales, they're like, great, people are spending money on his store. Let's promote his store even more. But it also affects your mind. It affects your mindset. It proves to you that you can make money online. Maybe it's not much at first because you're selling these cheap items and you're not selling very many of them at first. But as soon as, I'm telling you guys, as soon as you get that first sale, you're like, wow, this works. Like, it was an incredible feeling for me. And that started to shift my mind. So about 3 or 4 months into dropshipping, my sales plummeted. I went from making a couple $100s a month down to about 60 in 1 month. And I was like, do I give up? Should I just end this now? Is this worth all the stress? But I was hooked at that point. At that point, I knew that it worked because I had gotten that one sale. So my mindset was, this works if I keep going, if I keep working at it. And that's what I did. And I'm a big fan of putting in a lot of work in the beginning. I'm not a big fan of like this huge hustle culture. But what I am a fan of is putting in the work when it's needed. And when you're first starting out in any business venture, you need to put in the hard work. You need to really push yourself and your business if you want to see it scale up. So that's really why I've been doing so well with eBay dropshipping, is because of the mindset. And I think the failure at Shopify helped me see that, I had no excuse going into eBay. I knew that it would work, and there was no excuse that advertising is an issue. And I'm telling you guys, once you start to get your mind around the fact that you can do this, you can make money doing this, and once you get that first sale, you're gonna get hooked. Oh, this is live, guys. Orlando, get over here. Sorry about that. So I just wanted to leave you guys with that. Tell you guys, if you're not thinking as a business person, if you're not believing that you can do this, then you're never gonna succeed. You're gonna have the same failure I did with Shopify. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, failure. Failure is going to help you grow and be better. It certainly did for me, but it never feels good in the moment. But I'm telling you guys, it's worth it in the end, and you'll learn a lot from it. So I want to announce the winner of the contest. I had a lot of great entries, and I didn't pick a winner based on based on the answer and how good the answer was. I picked a winner based on just a random person. I felt that was the fairest thing because everyone had great reasons for wanting to do well on eBay this year, great reasons for wanting to succeed. I wanted to read off some of my favorites, but I also wanted to then tell you the winner. So some of the ones that I really liked were Yvonne. Yvonne said that she wants to be able to work on the road. She plans on living in an RV full time, and when she retires, and she hopes that my course will help her learn a lot and have some income while traveling anywhere. So that's a great answer, a great reason to want to succeed. Jonathon Castrano said, my goal is that in 30 years, I'll look back and say that this was the best decision I ever made. I love that type of mindset. That's you looking back saying, I'm not going to let life pass me by, right? And then Mike Harris had a great answer. He said, my biggest goal, ... to get enough financial freedom to enable me to help others. And that's another great answer. It's another great motivation for doing well. But the winner, again, this is just somebody I picked at random, although it's the fairest way to do it, is Scott Wolpert. I hope I'm saying your last name right. So Scott, send me an email. I'll put the email underneath this video. Send me an email with a screenshot of the inside of your YouTube dashboard so that I know it's actually you, so no one's trying to take your free prize. And then I'll send you all the information. I'm going to try to pull up the live stream here. So questions, so if anyone, or comments. So if anyone here has any questions, I might be able to answer them real quick. Just figure out where to find it. I've never done a live stream. Yeah, here we go. All right, so let me see what the questions are. Bess says congrats to Scott. Ozcan says, hi Paul, will you share your income report for March? Eagerly waiting. Yes, it's almost done. I'm having so much difficulty with one of my credit cards. I have a Wells Fargo credit card. Some months it's impossible to download all the transactions. And this month it's given me a lot of trouble. It was not working and then it was working. And now when I've been trying to download all the information for the past 3 days, I can't get it to work. So I don't even know how much money I spent on that card this month. So I can't give an accurate number until I get that information. So once that's available, yeah, the income report will be coming out hopefully by the end of the week. Okay. So George says, do you find that Home Depot prices are a little high to resell? No, not at all. I think the Home Depot has great pricing. And they price match other stores like Walmart, Amazon, whatever you have. Okay. Okay, Alex says, what's the best way to communicate with me? You can leave comments in this video, or you can message me on Facebook or send me an email. It's a great way to communicate with me. My email will be underneath this video for Scott, so Scott can reach out to me about the prize he won. Bess Zaki also says that Shopify isn't that easy, so maybe that's some great encouragement for me so I don't feel like I'm a complete failure at Shopify. But I did pay for a $1,000 course, so I would have hoped that they would have helped me through the whole process. And I didn't feel the support that I wanted in that course. But yeah, another thing I love about eBay, it's just easier to get started with it. Canadian Bacon says, do you typically aim to be the lowest price on an item? No, not always. It does help to be as competitive as you can, but I just try to price it where I feel comfortable with and then give it the best title that I can. Josh is asking about my VA course. I have a lot of it done. I just got to work out some last reshoots of it, which I'll hopefully do this week. A lot to do this week, so hopefully it'll be done soon. I keep saying that, guys, and I'm sorry. Things always take longer. I'm sure you guys understand and know that things always take longer than you think. So I am working as quickly as I can on it. Okay. Purchasing gift cards through gift card sites have a hold for a day or two. So how do you deal with that? Eddie asks. So you want to be proactive about it. You want to buy gift cards before you need them. And some websites like, what's the one? Zen cards, Zen gifts, I'm blanking. Zen something. They pretty much send it out right away. So, but I think that takes time. You have to build up that relationship with them. Okay. Let's see if there's any other questions we got here. Yeah, Mark says, do you use the Giving Assistant Chrome extension? Yes, I do. So underneath this video is a link to my favorite cashback website. It's Giving Assistant. They now have a Chrome extension. So how that works is you go to the website, let's say it's Walmart, and then Giving Assistant will send you a reminder saying, hey, we give cash back through this website. Just click here. It kind of like refreshes the page, so to speak, and makes sure that you get the cashback connection, I guess, with Giving Assistant. And then, yeah, I found that it does work fine. James sends 3 pictures of a basketball hoop. Store. So Lou Vang says, what percentage of dropshippers on eBay do you think list their items below price just to get gift cards or cash back? I think a lot of people try to do that. I don't think it's very sustainable. I mean, I think you're going to end up losing money unless you're doing super high volume. And even then, the items can't be cheap. They have to be higher priced items. I just don't think it's very sustainable. I think you should be making money on the front end and the back end. So yeah, Flippin' Digits is asking me how much money I made last month. Again, I'm not sure because I have to get information from one of my credit card companies that's their website's having problems again. So hopefully by the end of this week, I'll have the income report complete. Alice wants to know if I've ever shipped to a PO box. I try to, a lot of people won't ship to PO boxes, a lot of suppliers. You can always try, but I always make sure to put in all my listings that I don't ship to PO boxes. So in case my supplier doesn't ship to a PO box, I can cancel a sale and not get in trouble for it. Okay, so keyword research. I don't use any tools for keyword research. I just do it based on, I taught my VAs to do it based on the titles already in the description, in the title, some keywords that you can pull out of the description, and categories, keywords in the categories. Okay. And Josh, thank you for reminding me, Josh. If you guys like this video, if you learned something from it, please give the video a thumbs up. That would be awesome. 62 people in here, only 19 thumbs up. So if everyone could give a thumbs up, I'll make sure to do more videos like this. And if you guys are watching this in the future, in addition to giving a thumbs up, make sure that you subscribe to the video and hit that alert, because you'll never know that I go live unless you have those alerts. And people ask me questions and I'm happy to answer them live. I was supposed to, I usually do one every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time, but yesterday was Tuesday, I was busy. So I'm doing mine just off the cuff, like randomly right now. I didn't really announce it. So if you want to make sure that you don't miss this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification. And because, like I said, these are randomly happen sometimes, and sometimes I give stuff away during them. So you don't want to miss it. Okay. So Jonathan says, how do you deal with Home Depot repricing when you put the final shipping address? So Home Depot has something called dynamic pricing. That means that the price of the item changes depending on the zip code. Not for every item, but for some items. So for instance, you might have an item that's like 20 bucks, and then you change the zip code and the price might go up to 22 or it might go down to 18. Now, unfortunately, there's really no way around this. It's based on the shipping zip code. So one thing you could do is, if you find that this happening a lot, just raise the price of that item. Or you can contact Home Depot and say, hey, this item is actually cheaper. I don't know why it went up when I purchased it. And they might honor the other price. It's worth a shot doing it. Doc Shop says you have 4.4 thousand. I think you might be closing in on Jack. He's talking about Jack Pitman, another YouTuber who does a lot with eBay dropshipping. He's a friend of mine, so it's a friendly competition between all of us. So Lou Vang's also giving me some encouragement, says dropshipping from Shopify has a lot of potential, but it's extremely hard work. And you have to be very good at Facebook advertising or have your own product to sell. So Facebook advertising is something I'm just getting into. I'm trying to do some advertising with my course. It's brand new to me. I'm spent a little bit of time figuring it out. I actually hired someone to do it. She did a really bad job. And luckily I knew enough to know she did a bad job. So there's no Facebook ads for my course right now, but it's something I'm just exploring. I want to do more of in the future. If Guillermo here says, hi, Paul. Chris says, do you still use DSM tool? Yes, I do. Okay. And Autumn says, have you started drop shipping on Amazon yet? No, not yet. Hopefully in a couple of months. I wanted to do it sooner, but I'm spending a lot of time making sure my courses look good and making YouTube videos and trying to scale up eBay a little more. And once I get that all locked down, then I'll be on Amazon. And of course, I'll be making plenty of videos documenting the whole process, showing you guys exactly what I'm doing on Amazon so you can learn as I'm learning. James just says he wants a shout out. So, hey, James Shaw Vlogs. I'll have to check out what that is. It sounds like you actually make some content over there. So James Shaw Vlogs, I'll check out what kind of videos you're making. I like vlogs, I like watching them sometimes. Rodrigo says, how many VAs do you have right now? I have 9 working for me. Okay, time for a couple more questions. Eddie says, do you have sales tax set up for the 8 to 9 non-tax exempt states in eBay? No, I don't. You got to be really careful with that, everyone, because you can't charge sales tax in a state unless you're registered to collect sales tax for that state. So be really careful with this, guys. It's not something you want to play around with and mess up. Okay, James Shaw Vlogs. This is a better channel. Okay. So Thomas says, are you working on your FBA product research? I have an FBA private label product, but moved to eBay dropshipping because of the quick money for FBA products. What do you think about that? So I'm not doing FBA yet. It's something long-term, probably next year. But I think your strategy is really, really smart, because what you're doing is you're going to build up some money using eBay dropshipping, and then you can use that money to pivot into Amazon and use it to, connect with a supplier and buy an FBA product. That's a really smart idea if you don't have the capital for FBA, because eBay dropshipping has very little upfront costs. FBA has much higher upfront costs, although some people will tell you that it could be much cheaper, but I don't really believe that. I think for FBA to do it right, you got to have a pretty good investment, pretty sizable investment to do it well. But I'm not an expert in it, so I'm not certain of that. But that's just been what my research has found. So again, this is something I'm going to do next year, but somebody had a question about it. So it's a great question. Okay. So Ozken says, DSM Tools gives me a Vero error for many products. How do you deal with that? So Vero are products where the manufacturer has said our images and the product description are our intellectual property. They're copyrighted, and no one's allowed to use them without our permission. So you can't list those items unless you take your own images, take your own pictures, and write your own description. But you're not going to do that because that takes too much work. So you have 2 options. You can leave on the Vero protection for DSM tool and not list those items, or you can list the items, and then the risk is that eBay will delete the items from your store. They do reserve the right to ban your account for doing that, but I haven't heard of it actually happening in a really long time to anyone. So the choice is yours. It is a risk, though. So Flippin' Digit says, if you need the amazing selling course for FBA, I'll hook you up. That's my field. Yeah, I would love that. It's something, again, I'm going to do later on down the road. I've heard of the amazing selling course before. Everyone I speak to says that is the best course. I'm pretty sure, well, I don't want to say. I'm going to ask my friend about it. But it's the one that I hear the most about. The one that's been around the longest from just my little bit of research I've done on it. So yeah, I would love to check out that course. Okay, Rodrigo says, have you ever had to let go of VAs due to lack of work? No, not at all. I've had to let go of VAs because of, well, that's not true. I did fire a VA who was doing Bed Bath & Beyond. After I stopped using Bed Bath & Beyond, I said, I'm sorry, I'm not using Bed Bath & Beyond anymore. It's not your fault, and I let her go, but she was a great VA. I've rehired her to do another task, so, she was very professional about the whole process, so that's why I rehired her. Okay. Realist said, can anyone see my comments? Yes, we can, man. We see your comments. Okay, it's coming in a little fast, so I'm trying to keep up. James, probably in another video. Okay, guys, so I'm going to end it right here. Thanks, everyone, for watching. I hope you guys learned a lot. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. And make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for coming out, answering and asking the questions so I can answer them for you guys live. All right, guys, take care, and I'll see you next time.